Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that every glacier, every iceberg, and every inch of ice on our planet has completely melted. No more Arctic, no more Antarctica, just endless water where continents once stood tall. What would Earth look like? Would humanity survive? And how soon could this actually happen? Welcome to Infonic, and today, we're diving deep into one of the most terrifying and fascinating questions of our future. Backhand index pointing right, what will happen when all the ice on Earth melts? Right now, ice covers around 10% of Earth's total surface, but it holds more than 70% of all the planet's freshwater. Most of it lies in two massive sheets, the Antarctic ice sheet holding nearly 90% of all ice, and the Greenland ice sheet with about 10%. Together, these frozen giants lock away enough water to raise global sea levels by over 65 meters, or 213 feet, if they were to melt completely. Let's put that in perspective. 65 meters of sea level rise would completely erase entire nations like Bangladesh, the Netherlands, and most of coastal Florida, and submerge over 80% of the world's major cities. This isn't science fiction. Global warming has already begun melting our planet's ice at a record-breaking speed. In the past 30 years, Earth has lost nearly 28 trillion tons of ice. That's like losing 10 million Olympic swimming pools of water every single second. Greenland alone is now melting 7 times faster than it did in the 1990s. Antarctica? It's losing about 150 billion tons of ice every year. And it's not just the poles. Glaciers in the Himalayas, Alps, and Andes are retreating so fast that scientists fear some may vanish completely by the end of this century. So let's imagine, what if, one day, every bit of that ice is gone? Step 1. Rising seas. If all the ice melted, sea levels would rise by 65 meters. New York, London, Shanghai, and Mumbai all gone. The entire state of Florida would vanish beneath the Atlantic. In Asia, the coastlines of China, India, and Pakistan would drown. Even cities like Karachi, Dhaka, Bangkok, and Ho Chi Minh would disappear forever. Over 1.5 billion people would lose their homes. Step 2. Redrawing the world map. Australia would shrink. Africa's coastlines would move inward. South America's Amazon basin would become a massive inland sea. Europe would lose cities like Amsterdam and Venice completely. This wouldn't be the world we know. It would be an entirely new planet, reshaped by water. But melting ice isn't just about rising sea levels. It changes the planet's entire climate system. Right now, ice acts like a giant mirror, reflecting sunlight back into space. This is called the albedo effect. When the ice disappears, the dark ocean beneath it absorbs that sunlight instead, trapping heat and making Earth even warmer. This creates a feedback loop. More heat means more melting. More melting means more heat. As a result, global temperatures could rise far beyond what humans can survive in many regions. In places like the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of South Asia, temperatures could reach 60 degrees Celsius 140 degrees Fahrenheit during summer, making outdoor life almost impossible. When all that ice melts, it doesn't just raise sea levels, it also changes the oceans themselves. Freshwater from melting ice dilutes saltwater and disrupts major ocean currents, like the Gulf Stream, which controls weather across Europe and North America. If the Gulf Stream slows down or collapses, as scientists already fear, Europe could plunge into a mini ice age even while the rest of the planet burns. Rain patterns would shift, monsoons would fail, entire agricultural systems would collapse, and billions could face famine. Of course, it's not only humans who suffer. For wildlife, melted ice means extinction. Polar bears, penguins, seals, and walruses all would vanish without the ice they depend on. Coral reefs, already dying from rising temperatures, would be gone completely. Fish populations would crash, wiping out coastal economies. The balance that nature maintained for millions of years would collapse in just a few centuries. Let's talk about civilization. Over 60% of humanity lives within 60 kilometers of a coast. When the seas rise, cities like New York, Tokyo, London, and Dubai become the new Atlantis, ghost cities underwater. Nations would crumble. Mass migrations, called climate refugees, would flood inland territories. Wars over freshwater, land, and food could become the new normal. And while humanity might survive, civilization as we know it would not. So, could this really happen soon? If global warming continues at the current pace, scientists predict that all ice could melt completely in 5,000 to 10,000 years. But here's the catch: we don't have to wait that long for disaster. Even a 2-meter sea level rise this century would displace hundreds of millions of people. That's enough to rewrite human history, and we are already on track for that. There is still hope, but only if humanity acts fast. Cutting greenhouse gas emissions drastically, transitioning to renewable energy, protecting forests that absorb CO2, and restoring Arctic regions to reflect sunlight again. Projects like carbon capture and geoengineering might buy us time, but the real solution lies in global unity and personal responsibility. Because the truth is simple: the ice is our planet's heartbeat, and it's melting faster than ever before. Every drop that melts in the Arctic, every glacier that fades away in the Himalayas, it's a message from Earth. A warning that we are standing at the edge of something irreversible. So, the next time you see news about a melting glacier, remember, it's not just ice that's disappearing, it's our future, quietly slipping into the sea. This was Infonic, bringing you stories where science meets reality. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because understanding the world is the first step to saving it.